Can't be complacent. The Reserve Bank, APRA, ASIC have all suggested to us that this is a good idea. You know, one of the reasons, Koshy, we got through the global financial crisis so well is that we have some of the best financial regulators in the world, and when they make a recommendation like this to government should listen.
So, Joe, what's your view? Will you keep the bank levy?
Well, we want to speak to the banks about it. We want to find out exactly whether they are going to pass it on in full to their customers. Look, you know, with all due respect to Chris, he's on his L plates as a treasurer, but the fact is this is the Labor Party. They always do this. And if they're doing this just before an election, imagine what they'll do after the election if they win.
But Joe, you're a financial services minister. If ASIC and APRA came to you and said, hey, we need this, wouldn't you do it?
Well, Koshy, when I was financial services minister, HIH fell over. The government had to tip in $620 million. We didn't put a levy on every insurance policy to pay for it. We focused on the fact that it needed repair. Now, look, the starting point is this just flows through to everyone. It's like the tobacco tax. It flows through to everyone. And the Labor Party's doing this because they've run out of money. The money is actually going to go in revenue. So, yes, it goes into a special fund that, of course, Labor won't open. But the fact is it is revenue. It's counted as revenue towards the budget bottom line. It's all about that. It's not about good public policy, because why would they be doing it now?
Can I make 2 points, Koshy? Can I make 2 points just to respond? Firstly, Joe is right. When HIH collapsed, the taxpayer had to pay, and as the regulators said to us, the banks benefit from the government guaranteeing their deposits, so the bank should make a contribution over time, a very small levy to start with and build it up over time. And the second point is this: if Joe thinks it's all going to be passed on, well, I suppose he'll be announcing today that they're dropping their plans to increase company tax on the banks, on the supermarkets, on all big companies in Australia, because that is massively bigger than the levy we're talking about. Joe and Tony Abbott didn't consult with business about that, and that will be passed on, and that will be a big impost on Australian families. They're going to increase company tax on all Australian big businesses. Joe shouldn't be lecturing me about tax. He's the one with a tax increase which is much bigger than anything we'll go to this election with.
Well, how do you know we're going to increase company tax?
Well, because it's your policy, Joe, unless you changed it.
Well, we've
How are you
also
going to pay for the paid parental leave? How are you going to pay for paid parental leave?
Well, we won't spend as much money as Labor. That's a starting point. We won't waste taxpayers' money. Now that you've fired me up, we're not going to start on this waste. The waste and mismanagement of Labor is not going to be part and parcel.
Are you
going to
increase company tax or not? That's your policy. Are you walking away from it?
Well, you watch. You watch what we do, because we're going to have... yeah, interesting, that's right, because we don't waste taxpayers' money.
Watch this space, clearly. OK, Chris, can I get an answer on this too? Are the decks cleared for Kevin Rudd to call an election?